Could Nikola stock realistically 10x by 2026? In this video, I want to address this very hard question that recently came onto my mind after I saw an article published around Nikola's latest capital raise and how it could be one of the best turnaround stocks for the next 5 years. You guys know already my position on this company. I'm a bull for the long term because I see an opportunity where most people on Wall Street simply don't see it right now. Many people are still associating Nikola with the debacle that happened in 2020, and although that is bad, the people that were involved with that are already getting prosecuted, and that stuff is already well behind this company's future progress. Instead, we should be looking at where the puck is heading, not where the puck has been. But as usual, guys, before I get into it, make sure to drop me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So the first thing I want to address is let's just look at where Nikola is sitting right now when it comes to its valuation. So for example, Tesla, which is one of the leaders in the EV industry, is sitting at a price of sales of 13 with a PE of around $99. Now, I've done very minimal research on Tesla's valuation, so I have no idea whether or not this is a good deal or not, but instead we can compare this with something like Nikola, although not on the surface, but more in hindsight. As you can see, the price of sales is around 119 for ticker NKLA. Now, why is this important? Well, as you can see right now, we have a massive downtrend on this stock. Meanwhile, the business has been improving. This is something I think many people are overlooking. You see, most people who are investing in something like Tesla stock today did not buy the stock from 2015 to 2019. Instead, most of these folks are the ones that bought after the stock price went up extremely significantly throughout the past 3 years. And unfortunately, that is basically how the stock market works. It's actually a reason why the stock is up so much, because retail investors are seeing these great delivery numbers, these great profit margins, and these earnings come in that are showing them, okay, this is a great stock to own. And because of that, they're buying the stock regardless of whatever valuation it's trading at, because chances are the people next to them in their community are also buying Tesla stock. The problem is that these folks were probably not touching the stock or even thinking about it throughout the times that it was actually worth investing in the company in hindsight. From 2013 all the way to 2019, most people didn't care about this company at all. As you can see, during that time frame, the stock actually had significant negative 70% declines in the share price, all while the business was continuing to improve. May 2019 was kind of the bottom where we saw so many FUD articles against this company where everybody thought the company would run out of money and that they were burning cash like hell every single year for their factories and their research and development. And as a result, many people probably sold Tesla stock at that point, and most folks on Wall Street probably didn't care about even investing in the stock at that time because obviously it was extremely overlooked, and who wants to buy a stock that everybody else is selling, right? Well, that's exactly what investors got completely wrong. In hindsight now, everybody wants to buy Tesla stock because the numbers are coming out great. But in 2018, it wasn't as clear as to whether or not the company could be profitable. Instead, the folks that were investing in the stock back then were longer-term visionaries who were betting on a turnaround in Wall Street's expectations of Tesla stock. Because let's be honest, back in 2018 and 2017, when Tesla launched the Model 3, the business was doing quite well. The Model 3 is the vehicle that got Tesla into profitability. And I just want this to be an example for how businesses can turn around. Even if the business is improving, the stock price can be going down and there can be a lot of FUD and fear around the business because most people are just crowd followers. They don't want to do their own research and use their brains. Instead, they want to listen to what the rest of the people are saying, and that tends to get amplified in the stock market extremely easily. Now, I'm not saying that Nikola stock is going to be the next Tesla stock. There's no way for me to know. What all I'm saying is I'm seeing an opportunity where most of Wall Street right now is completely misunderstanding Nikola stock, and many people are overlooking this business in a time of massive tailwinds, even though, yes, in the short term, there are a lot of short-term macroeconomic headwinds for this company. And it's actually funny, if you go back to when Nikola announced their $400 million share offering, these folks on Yahoo Finance actually completely dismissed Nikola's press release and instead completely focused on Lucid, who also happened to be raising money at the same time, And they primarily cited the reasoning for that being that Nikola was still not a real company. Let's hear it for yourself.
Let's get on to some EVs, another topic we know very well here. Electric vehicle makers Lucid and Nikola are moving to raise additional funds as both companies aim to boost production amid sharply rising battery costs and new federal regulations that limit incentives for EV buyers. Full disclosure, Brad, anytime I get an email regarding Nikola, I just delete it because it's still unsure to me that they are even a real company. So I want to focus on Lucid because I do view them as a real company. They might raise up to $8 billion over the next 3 years.
It was the Nikola thing.
Over the next 3, I know. You never know what's coming. But look,
You see what I mean? This guy is saying Nikola is not even a real company when they just reported $18 million worth of revenue in the last quarter. Wall Street is completely ignoring this company, guys. I know on our comment section in my YouTube channel, there's still a lot of bulls and people that are supportive of this business, but 99% of folks still completely are ignoring this company. And yes, that's actually a reason for why there's so much volatility in the stock price. And that's something I think we need to discuss as well. You see, Nikola right now is at a stage of a startup at the very beginning stages of the product market life cycle. And so although there's very little belief in this company at that stage, most of the time when you enter the rapid growth stage and the maturity stage, that's when most folks become extremely bullish on the company. And this is something that's going through with Tesla. Tesla right now is reaching this stage where everything is going fantastic with the business. And as a result, the equity price has gone up and most of Wall Street is bullish on the company. But just imagine when the stock starts going down for Tesla, all of a sudden the sentiment is going to shift. And so the reality is the sentiment of the stock goes around the price action of the stock. If the stock's going down, everybody's going to be bearish. And the stock's going up, everybody's going to be bullish. But the best part is that in the long term, the bullish thesis, the fundamentals, and the market opportunity are what really matter for investors. In the short term, it is all noise. And that is evidently visible on Nikola stock because as you can see, over the past 2 years, it's had a very consistent pattern of going up, going down, making a newer low, then going back up and then going back down. It's kind of this stair-step pattern which has been forming right underneath this 200-day moving average. This is actually a very interesting pattern that I've never seen occur on any other stock. This could be due to a lot of algorithms. This could be due to a lot of hedge fund shorting, but this just tells me that there is a massive short squeeze opportunity on this company for the long term once Wall Street's image turns around. And if I'll be honest, that is probably not going to happen anytime within the next 6 months, which is why I continue to not buy Nikola stock when it's all the way up here and squeezing, because chances are it's going to come back down. And the reason it's going to come back down is because there's still a lot of macroeconomic headwinds in the short term that are causing most of Wall Street to completely dismiss growth stocks and EV companies. And that's obviously because interest rates tend to have an effect on that situation for growth. But again, long-term investors should not be worried about that at all. And that is why I continue to be a buyer of this company, even though many people are completely dismissing this business and thinking there's way too much risk investing in this company. And is there risk? Yes, absolutely there is. The company could run out of money, there could be more competition, their product could all of a sudden become deregulated, or some sort of massive black swan event that could completely dismiss my investment thesis. But again, I am only weighing the risk to reward. The risk is that I lose all my capital on the stock and the stock goes to zero. But the reward is if I get a 10x return on this business, especially given the massive tailwinds we're seeing in the hydrogen space, which is something that Wall Street obviously is completely dismissing right now, and it's only going to start playing out in 2023 and 2024. Even companies like Volvo in Europe are doing massive developments for fuel cells, and if these multi-billion-dollar businesses see an opportunity in this, you know that Nikola's first mover advantage, at least in America, is going to pay big dividends for the stock in the long term, similar to something like Mercedes, who is only expected to put these into production anytime by late 2024. Meanwhile, obviously Nikola is on track to do this by the middle of next year. And with the insane federal tax credits we're seeing in the Inflation Reduction Act, this is even more supportive of Nikola's capital expenditure and its entrance as a first mover for battery electric semi-trucks. We are going to be seeing some massive adoption going into 2023 for not only the product itself, but also the fuel consumption and the manufacturing, which is going to bring down costs substantially for a very much needed product in this country. And as you can see, next year analysts expect Nikola on the low end to pull in around $500 million in revenue, which is obviously more than a 200% growth from the $110 million we're expecting this year. And so you tell me, should this company be trading at a price to sales ratio of only 4, given the current market cap of around $2.3 billion, or should a growth stock at a very early stage of its growth cycle in the S-curve be trading at a significantly higher valuation, like something like Lucid Motors or Rivian right now? I think that's up to you guys to decide for yourself if that is something you're interested in for the long term. But as usual guys, make sure to drop me a thumbs up and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.